Big, small, ugly, cute, dangerous, friendly, the SCP Foundation really has it all when it comes to creations, but which one should we be afraid of? And when I say afraid of, I don't mean they look gross or they will give you an uneasy feeling. I mean the kind that could destroy the whole world or even maybe reality as we know it. Thank God these are all just a writing project and they're not something we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. Could you imagine going to work at the SCP Foundation and you have to share a cubicle with some mind-melting monster? Well, Top 10 family, I am back again. I'm your host, Chaderain, and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. You at home clicked on this video and we are going to get into it. Today we are counting down the top 10 scary SCPs that can end existence. Perfect timing to give us something else to worry about, something else that could kill us, now that we even have the murder hornets to go along with it. Mwah! It's beautiful. As always, guys, I would love it if you at home could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, if any of you at home want some more Most Amazing Top 10 content, check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and stick around until the end of this video because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have SCP-058. Let's start off this list with one of the creepy SCPs that I have ever seen. This is a massive cow heart with legs and a bunch of tentacles flowing out of it. This thing looks like it was pulled right out of one of the Resident Evil games, and frankly, one of the scariest things in Resident Evil is Nemesis, and I think this thing would rip it apart. This SCP can move extremely fast. It will use its tentacles to propel itself and fling its body all around the world. In just 2 seconds, it can go from standing still to moving at speeds of 90 kilometers an hour. Imagine this thing flying at you at high speed, zooming towards your face. Oh, and I forgot to mention that the tentacles are barbed, so this dude is even more deadly than you already thought. Now, why is it on the list of SCPs that can end existence? It is just one thing, and outside of physical damage, doesn't really have a lot of powers. Well, it's because this creature is extremely destructive. As soon as it gets on the loose, it will start to destroy everything in its path, human or otherwise. It is extremely resistant to any sort of damage that will happen to its body, and it can regenerate. When it was first discovered, it had ravaged a town and destroyed 70% of the structures there. So if this guy ever got on the loose, it wouldn't end well for anybody. It could literally just keep destroying until it killed everything on the planet. At number 9, we have SCP-2845, the deer. This is a deer with a human face, and right there, that's enough to give you the heebie-jeebies. That's something that you think you would only see in your nightmares and would stay in your brain until you went to the grave. But this SCP is extremely powerful and is of unknown origin. It definitely came from space. That much we know. This SCP was on a faulty spaceship and ended up crashing on planet Earth. Obviously, it stuck out like a sore thumb because everyone hunting was like, hey, why does that deer have human lips? But what makes this SCP so powerful is its ability to warp time and space around it to an unknown degree. Now, this could be just something that it can do on our planet, like a Superman situation. It could also be that this creature is powerful throughout dimensions. Now, the only reason I bring up the source of its power is because the SCP Foundation was able to capture it. Now, maybe they captured the deer itself, or maybe they just captured a copy of the deer that the deer created and now is still on the loose because this thing can warp reality, so who knows where it actually is. At number 8, we have SCP-1548. Imagine if an SCP was an entire sun, like the one that we have, but just even bigger. Now, imagine that it had the ability to think, and for whatever reason, it hated us. Well, that's pretty spooky, but it's a sun, it's just floating around in space, just like we are, so there's nothing that it can do about it. That evil sun monster out in space is just gonna have to deal with its emotions. Not like the angry sun from the NES Marios. I hate that guy so much. Well, I have bad news for you guys because this SCP is all that, plus it has the ability to move through space faster than you could possibly imagine. It's headed right for us to consume us. Now, how do we know this? Because it talks to us through radio waves. It tells us that it wants us all dead and will continue to devour all the life in the universe. What a cool guy. At number 7, we have SCP-399. There is very limited information on this SCP. It literally just showed up one day. There was a team that was ordered to work on the site facility known as Facility 118, and then out of nowhere one day there was just a new SCP in the containment cell, and everyone who worked at the facility had no memory of how it got there. The only clue was that there was the dead body of one of the scientists that worked at the facility. His body was left in the cell, and it seemed like it had been extremely tortured. Through a thorough investigation, it was discovered that SCP-399 was an interdimensional being that came into consciousness and then took this scientist into another dimension. He then tortured him continuously for an unknown period of time until the scientist was able to kill him or escape in some way and then return back to Earth. Now his dead body is kept in the containment cell, and it's unknown if this SCP is dead or is waiting for another opportunity to return and torture someone else. At number 6, we have SCP-3812. This SCP is a little hard to explain. It's not living, it's not dead, it's partly from our world, but also not at all from our world. It used to be a man named Sam Howell. Prior to his death, it seemed that there was no sort of unordinary thing happening with this man, and he had no supernatural abilities of any sort. But after he died, his spirit was seen floating out of his grave, and now his consciousness exists in both our reality and beyond it, seeing through time and space and all possible outcomes of different narratives of reality. SCP-3812 is able to change reality as it sees fit, and will often do so to try and prevent the SCP Foundation from discovering it. It can be communicated with, but will often become confused, not knowing what is real and what is not. To SCP-3812, everything might seem like a dream, with strange things constantly overlapping with each other. But the difference is this SCP can control the dream. At number 5, we have SCP-2408, otherwise known as Yaldabaoth. This is one of the gods that birthed the dawn of time. You don't really get more badass than that. Now it's said that this insanely powerful god created existence when he was fighting with another god. That's how you know you are serious. That's like when Muhammad Ali fought George Foreman in Africa. Well, maybe a little bit bigger, but not too much bigger. This SCP can go through all known dimensions, and probably a bunch of dimensions we don't even know exist. If it could start time, then it could definitely end it. This is how strong this guy is. He was able to send some of his brain cells out, and they were powerful enough to almost end all life on Earth. Just his brain cells are that strong. He's currently locked away between dimensions, and hopefully we never see him again. At number 4, we have SCP-239. This SCP is known as the Child Witch. She has a power that a lot of kids would want to have. She can make anything she wishes come true. However, she is only a 6-year-old girl. That is a lot of power for a little kid. I mean, that's a lot of power for anyone, but for a 6-year-old, if that was a real life thing, we would probably all look like talking ponies and the sky would be a permanent rainbow. It's unknown how far this SCP's powers can stretch. So far, she has not found a wish she cannot make. These wishes will even affect dimensions or realities that are beyond our own. It would seem that she has the power to affect all known realities. There is also the chance that she is indestructible. She was first found in a crater in a hospital that she was born in. The hospital exploded. It's unknown the cause of the explosion, but she was the only thing left alive afterwards. And number 3 is SCP-001, the Gate Guardian. A god guarding a gate filled with other gods. This guy means business. Gods don't just hire anyone to protect them for all of time. They get the most badass, powerful thing in the universe. This SCP sits in front of a massive gate. It has 4 large wings that are flowing out of its back, and it is holding a massive sword. Everything to do with this SCP seems like it was constructed out of pure energy. Anyone who gets in with a 1-kilometer radius is either destroyed or mind controlled and told to leave. If someone attempts to attack this SCP, they are vaporized instantly, almost as if they never existed. It seemed that some people believe that when this SCP kills you, it knocks you out of all realities, killing your soul and everything else to do with you. It would seem that behind the gate that this SCP is guarding are other beings that look just like it. And number 2 is the Scarlet King. Now, I just say the Scarlet King for this one because although it is in the SCP logs, it doesn't have an SCP number, but the SCP Foundation knows that it exists. There was an occasion with SCP-710 where the SCP Foundation found a cult worshipping him and that were possibly giving him power or vice versa. This SCP is a terror to all other lower gods. It's said to be maybe the most evil thing in all of existence. It could be the devil or evil incarnate itself, possibly the source of everything evil that we have ever encountered. Well, all we have to do is ask him politely to stop, and then that would solve all our problems, right? Well, not really. All the other elder gods are terrified of this creature. It's said that this thing has caused more death than any other thing that has ever existed. He will tear down universes for just the fun of it and warp reality to his will. This dude is Thanos on steroids mixed with Superman times 1000. And for the number 1 spot, we have SCP-343. This SCP has just been straight up called God. It's an object class safe because it doesn't attack anything, it doesn't intervene with anything, it only watches. There has been some evidence that this SCP shows it interacts interacts with SCP-239 to teach her how to use her powers, because she will one day be an all-knowing god like him that will have equal or greater power. But other than that, this dude just chills out and watches everything go down. He's a very chill god. Probably has so many episodes of interdimensional Netflix to sit down and watch. I like this guy. He's very chill. Alright everyone, that is our list, and as promised, I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. If it takes me a little while to get back to you, I am very sorry. I have a lot of these to do. I usually just pick to message last. That's kind of how I go about it. And without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. Alright, to start off, we have Phoebe, who's a super nice cat having an amazing cat nap. I love that picture. Next up, we have Nebula, who has everything going on here. You have some Minecraft, you have some Star Wars, and that amazing cat chair. After that, we have Gremlin, who's having a big time stretch and loving it. Then we have the cutest puppy ever, Lola. She just wants to show you that cute little pin she's carrying. Oh my god. And to close it out, we have this turtle who is simply called Ralph. It just says Ralph. He's a turtle, since holding him out there. This is Ralph. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Shade Arena, and hopefully, we keep existing.